Priorities. Just as we didn't really need to talk about control early on, it becomes self-evident that control is not real. It's not really available to us. I find that when I talk about self-prioritization, it's really difficult for some people to understand, to grasp, because we go to this place where we think it's narcissistic. We think of these worst case scenarios where how can I not be there for my wife or my kids or my coworkers or my mom or my dad? And yet at this stage in the journey, when we start talking about it now, and we've done this work on showing up, letting go, detached connection, it's self-evident, it's just apparent that because we only have control over choice, our choice, we actually have no choice but to put ourselves first. Because it's the only thing we can really influence and impact and change. Remember back to when I read the Who I Am from here? And I started out with priorities one way and they shifted to priorities in a different way. I'm curious, how often do you choose something? You make a decision. You act a certain way. Because it makes, or at least you believe it will, somebody else happy. I lived my whole life this way. If you asked me why I did most things in life, it would be because I think somebody else would like this, or for them. And I want you to recall the last time this happened for you and how you believed you showed up for that person. Then I want you to think back on how you ended up betraying yourself and hurting yourself and relegating yourself to second position by doing so. So I have 3 questions for you as you recall and you bring this memory into mind. Did what you did this self-sacrificing decision, action, did it truly make the other person happy? Maybe you can't even know. Maybe it's just your story. What was the ultimate cost to you? What did you give up? How did you suffer? And if you had prioritized yourself first, what would you have done differently? What would that have looked like? There's almost no situation where hurting ourselves, dishonoring ourselves, stepping out of integrity is the right choice. Know that in your life. We've already established you only control you. There's not some weird situation where you just don't. It's a story. And you still have choice. One of the things that's helped me continue to love myself, trust myself, stay in this place where I prioritize myself is the gap versus the gain kind of mentality. And when we dwell on the gap, it can paralyze us with fear and doubt, hindering growth and fulfillment. And we focus on the gain instead. It enhances our self-esteem and motivates us by acknowledging progress and celebrating small victories. And there's this interesting concept called the hedonic treadmill. And if you've never heard of it, it's okay. I hadn't until I did research around this. But it's really poignant. It is the observed tendency of humans to quickly return to a relatively stable level of happiness, despite major positive or negative events or life changes. According to this theory, as a person makes more money, expectations and desires rise in tandem, which results in no permanent gain in happiness. Surprise. Recognizing and appreciating our gains is a way to step off this treadmill and find lasting satisfaction. And that's why this gap versus the gain is so important, I believe, in how we choose to put ourselves first. Because the gap is what society, this outside world, these pressures, the stories we end up telling ourselves, they're not real or on us. And the gain, most people can't see it. We can. We know it. We feel into it. We honor it. We bring that into our life every day. And that's how we continue to put ourselves first. I want you to think back through these lessons, this bold mission in our pursuit of freedom. What most energized you as we've talked about our superpower, the meaning of life, the purpose of life, that formula to unlock bold, and the methodology, the SHAG. We got into the S. The show up and let go. The techniques to detaching from our thoughts, from our emotions. What energized you? And what I mean by that is, where are there possibilities that just opened up that you were unaware of that excites you now? And I have a question. And yes, I want you to write this down. What bold? Courageous, authentic, and wild action, a single bold action, are you going to commit to taking today? What is that? I do want to share with you what the rest of the bold method is, the SHAG, and it will be coming forward in other future lessons together. So we know S is show up and surrender, or show up and let go. H is to hold space and boundaries. A is to ask and receive. And G is to give gratuitously. It's in this order for a reason. And I've spent so much time on the S because without choice, without getting ourselves into the present moment, we find detached connection. We can't do the rest of the SHAG method. How do you hold space for somebody when you can't do it for yourself? How do you hold boundaries when you don't trust and love yourself and you don't have choice? You can't. How do you step into a humble place of being able to ask and receive, which, by the way, most of us really suck at? We're great gift givers, and we're not great receivers. Asking requires owning your choice enough to be able to step into something uncomfortable and trust that you're not defined by being able to or having to ask for help. And give gratuitously. It's last for a reason. You can't give what you don't have. We've already established that the only thing in life we control is ourselves through choice. Choice is all of our superpowers. And until we develop our gifts, which is the meaning of life, we can't give them away. So just like that formula has our purpose as the last piece, which is to give it away, to share it with the world, in the method, it is also the last piece. And we get this wrong so often. We try to give and think that is the path to being able to find showing up and letting go. And it's exactly backwards. Don't get me wrong, life is about giving and sharing. It's the purpose of life. But there are steps to get there. I want to read one last thing. When I dedicated this book, I did something unique. And I think it's really, really important right now. This book was written for Brant Perkins. Yes, myself. If I'm able to help myself, then I have done all that I can. My deepest hope is that through my dedication to myself and the work that only I can do, somehow it touches others, inspiring them to look inside and to do the work that only they can do. It's time to do the work that only you can do.